Okay, today we're going to talk about Michael, the biopic on Michael Jackson. So, I've never really been like a huge Michael Jackson fan. I mean, I like his song, I like some of his songs, but I've always been more into like Ed Sheeran. But yeah, I thought this was a really interesting movie. It was good. It was nice to see like his life in the Jackson 5 and like his solo career. So yeah, let's talk about that. So we start in the 19 spoilers by the way. We start in the 1960s with 8-year-old we see 8-year-old Michael Jackson and he's in the Jackson 5 and right from the start he's just like you see how miserable he is. Like he does not enjoy this at all. He's just doing it cuz his father's making him. And so we see him rehearsing, and when he does the thing where he's like moving around a lot because that's what Michael Jackson did. He would move around a lot, and they keep saying like Michael, stop moving around. But then one producer, I think his name was Mr. Gold, he he like sees Michael, and he sees Michael for what he is. He recognizes the talent in Michael, and he's like hanging out with him, and he kind of becomes like a father figure to Michael because his real father is a jerk. So that was nice to see, but unfortunately, we don't see him that much. We only see when Michael's a kid, and then after that, we don't see him at all. I don't think. So that was sad. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Michael just didn't stay in touch with that guy when he got older. Um, but yeah, I would have liked to see more of that guy. Um, we see we see all of Michael's personal relationships, good and bad. We see his relationship with his mom, his dad, his bodyguard Bill, his fans. The only thing we don't see him too much of is his brothers, but I'll get to that later. So so we flash forward to see Michael as an adult, and the guy who plays adult Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson's actual nephew, Jafar Jackson, who's the son of Jermaine. So that was really cool to see. And I think Jafar Jackson did a really good job impersonating his uncle. He got the voice down, he got the moves down, he got everything, like his dance moves, I mean. So his body language and his voice and just so yeah, I thought Jafar Jackson did a really good job with that. Um and but what the thing I think I liked most about this movie is seeing Michael as a kid, like not I don't mean like literally as a kid. I mean seeing adult Michael Jackson as doing like kid things, like the fact that that he has all these like toys and games in his room, and the fact that he's into cartoons like Peter Pan and Pinocchio, because you get you it like this movie's really good at subtlety, right? In the sense that they're good at saying things like show don't tell, because it's clear that Michael Jackson is like misses his childhood because he didn't really get to be a child since he was performing in the Jackson 5 all the time. So he has all these like childlike things. He has all these toys and stuff. And they never directly say, "Oh, he acts like a child because he never got a childhood." They're showing you. And that's the same with a lot of other things. Like the scene where he's in the hospital, there's a brief scene where he's like, "Oh, I don't," he mentions, "Oh, this medication, these painkillers, I don't feel very good from these painkillers." And I guess that's supposed to hint at his future drug addiction. So yeah, this movie did a good job of um like hinting at that stuff without directly saying it. So um yeah, so that was really good. I'm trying to think of what else to say. Oh, he got a chimp, Bubbles, which he really did have. He really did have a chimp, and I'm pretty sure in the movie the chimp was computer generated. I think maybe it was a real chimp, but I'm pretty sure it was computer generated. But yeah, that was funny to see that he has a chimp. That he had a chimp, and he like threatens his father with it. He's like, around certain people, they can get angry. He's like threatening his father, which is funny. And but yeah, his father was really unlikable in this movie, Joseph Jackson. His father just kept pushing him to do the Jackson 5, and he clearly didn't want to do it. Even after Michael gets a solo career, his father is still pushing. He like, "Oh, you should do a reunion. You should do a reunion tour with your brothers." And Michael does it because I guess he's a people pleaser and he wants to please his family, which is sad. Um, and it's clear that he just really hates living there with his father. He's close with his mother, who I actually just found out recently his mother's still alive, which is cool. But yeah, he was close with her, but not with his father. which was sad. Even after Michael's in the hospital, because he's in the hospital because he accidentally gets burned from one of the lights when he's doing the tour that his father made him do. And while he's in the hospital, his father says to the doctor, "He can still tour, right? He's good to tour. He's okay to tour." And at that point, it's just like, all right, he just goes from being a jerk to just being evil. Like Michael's father was just evil. So yeah, that was terrible. And then when we see Michael in the hospital, even though he's a patient in the hospital, he's still talking to other patients and trying to make them feel better. And that was nice to see because this movie shows that Michael Jackson seemed like a really good guy. And it's always kind of difficult to know whether or not you can trust biopics because of course they're not gonna make the celebrity look bad necessarily. But no, I think a lot of what they did, I think a lot of what they said about Michael was true because they had a lot of his family involved in this movie. Some of his siblings didn't want to be in the movie, like Janet Jackson didn't want anything to do with the movie, but they did have like I think the four brothers he was in the band with were associated with it, and then his nephew was associated with it. So I'm gonna trust the biopic mostly. I think a lot of it was accurate. I mean, that's what you would see interviews where Michael would go around and talk to sick kids in the hospital and give them toys. So that part was true. And then of course you have the accusations that he was, that he really liked kids, but there's no actual evidence to support that he ever did anything inappropriate with them. So no, I personally don't think Michael Jackson did anything inappropriate with kids. Yes, I know he would have like sick kids come over to his house and sleep over, but that's really weird. But they were like or no, I don't think, did they sleep over? I don't think they slept over. Maybe well, not in his bed. If they did, maybe it was like in the living room or something. I don't know. It's still weird. I don't think he should have done inviting sick kids over to like look at his house is one thing, as long as their parents are there. But having them sleep over, I can't imagine any parent would be okay with that. I don't know. Sorry, we're getting off topic. Anyway, I like this movie. I liked seeing Michael's personal life. I liked watching him stand up to MTV, or like he wanted his music video to be on MTV, and they're like, well, MTV doesn't really show black artists, and Michael's like, yeah, well, screw that. I'm a proud black artist, and I want my video on, or I'll never give you any music ever again. And so that was really cool to see him stand up for himself like that. And then towards the end, he stands up to his father, and I kind of kept hoping that Michael would like yell at his father, like punch him or something. Not that I condone violence, but in this one scenario, it would be okay. But honestly, what Michael did to stand up to his father was more satisfying. He announces to the audience that that the band isn't touring anymore, even though Joseph wanted to do more tours. Michael announces publicly he's not going to do any more, the band isn't going to do any more tours. And then backstage, Joseph goes up to him, he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And Michael just pushes him out of the way, and then that's it. We never see him again in the movie. So I thought that was more satisfying because he's not even going to bother with him anymore. He doesn't hit him, he doesn't yell at him, he just doesn't bother with him anymore. So that was good. And then the movie ends with seeing Michael in the 80s performing Billie Jean, I think. Yeah, Billie Jean. And then the movie ends, and then there's a title card that says his story continues. So I don't know if that means that there's going to be a sequel or it just means his story continues, because we know what happens next. He gets a skin condition. He gets accused of, he gets addicted to drugs. So we know everything that's going to happen next. So maybe that's what the movie was talking about when it says his story continues. Like, we're just supposed to know, because it's like if you know, you know. Maybe it's that kind of thing. Or maybe there will be a sequel and we'll see like the late 80s and the 90s. But I don't know. I mean, something I liked about the Elvis biopic is that they didn't show him die. They showed him a few years before he died, and then it says on screen, Elvis is found dead in his hotel a few years later. And I think I like that better because it feels kind of exploitative to like have the celebrity die. Like in the Marilyn Monroe, there's like a Marilyn Monroe series, not Blonde, not the one with Ana de Armas, the other one. I forgot what it was called, but they show her die. Like, they show the scene where she overdoses, and it's really just like exploitative and disrespectful to Marilyn Monroe. So I'm glad that the Elvis biopic avoided that, and I'm glad that this Michael Jackson biopic avoided that. But if there's a sequel, hopefully they won't show it. Because we know he dies. We don't need to see that. So yeah. overall, I thought this movie was really interesting. We gotta talk about his brothers. So I would have liked to see more of his brothers because they don't feel like their own people in this movie. They just feel like Michael Jackson's brothers. And I know this movie's called Michael, and the movie's about Michael Jackson. But they showed his parents. They made his parents feel like their own people. So why can't they do that with his brothers? Even if it's just one scene. Even if it's just one scene where his brothers are talking. Because, what did they think about being in the Jackson 5? What did they think about Michael being the most famous and successful? What did they think about all of that? We don't know because they're just there. They're supportive of him, which is good to see, but we don't really see what their feelings and opinions on stuff are. So I would have liked to see, because Michael's father was physically abusive, by the way. There's a scene where he hits Michael with the belt, and in real life, he did that to the brothers too. He did it to Michael more, but he did it to the brothers too. So I would have liked to see more of the brothers, just being their own character, and the sister too. There's Michael's sister Latoya, and he had other siblings too, like Randy and Janet, and I think he had another sister, but I forgot her name. They didn't want to be associated with this movie, so they weren't in the movie. But yeah, I would have liked to see the brothers Jackie, Jermaine, Tato, and Marlon, and then his sister Latoya. I would have liked to see them more, as opposed to them just being in the background. But overall, this movie was really good. Was really fun. Was really good. I liked seeing Michael's interest. I see him watch cartoons and read Peter Pan and stuff. Because there's a scene where he's talking about Neverland, and he's like, "Oh, I come here all the time. This is where people can just be themselves without being judged." And that was a really emotional scene, and I can relate to, that. I never thought I would relate so much to Michael Jackson, but yeah, I don't completely relate to him, but yeah, I relate to him in some ways. So, yeah. So what did you think about this movie? Are you a Michael Jackson fan? Did you like this movie? Talk about it in the comments below. Oh, do you want there to be a sequel? Yeah, so let's talk about all that below, and see you next time. Bye.